What if I told you that the most powerful machine in the known universe is sitting inside your skull? It controls your thoughts, your emotions, your movements, your memories, and even your dreams. This is the human brain, the most complex biological structure ever discovered. In today's episode, we will explore what the brain is, how it is structured, and why it is the control center of human life. The human brain is a soft, sponge-like organ weighing about 1.3 to 1.5 kilograms. It is protected by the skull and surrounded by cerebrospinal fluid, cushioning it from injury. Although it represents only 2% of body weight, it consumes nearly 20% of the body's energy. The brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons, specialized cells responsible for communication. The brain constantly receives information from your eyes, ears, skin, muscles, and internal organs. It processes this information and sends instructions back to the body. Every movement you make, from blinking to running, begins as a signal in the brain. The brain has three main structural parts. The cerebrum is the largest part, responsible for thinking, memory, emotions, and voluntary movement. The cerebellum, at the back of the brain, controls balance, coordination, and fine motor skills. The brainstem connects the brain to the spinal cord, controlling automatic functions like breathing, heartbeat, and blood pressure. Without the brainstem, life would not be possible. The brain contains two types of tissue: gray matter, which processes information, and white matter, which transmits signals between different areas. Gray matter handles thinking, while white matter ensures seamless communication. Together, they form a powerful internal network. The brain is divided into two hemispheres, left and right. Each side controls the opposite side of the body. The left hemisphere is generally associated with logic, language, and analytical thinking, while the right hemisphere manages creativity, imagination, and spatial awareness. Both hemispheres communicate constantly through the corpus callosum, enabling seamless coordination. Even during sleep, the brain remains highly active. It processes memories, regulates hormones, controls breathing, and maintains heart rate. The brain is working 24 hours a day, ensuring your survival and health. Although the brain makes up only about 2% of body weight, it consumes nearly 20% of the body's energy. Thoughts are created by patterns of neurons firing together. When neurons repeatedly fire in certain patterns, their connections strengthen a process called neuroplasticity, which allows us to learn new skills and form memories. The human brain is the control center of the body, containing billions of neurons that constantly process and send signals. It controls our thoughts, emotions, and movements, and keeps us alive every second. But this is only the beginning.
How does a 3-pound organ control your entire body? How does it allow you to think, move, feel, remember, and dream? Inside your skull exists the most complex biological network ever discovered. The human brain is constantly active, constantly communicating, and constantly calculating. In this episode, we will explore how the human brain actually works. The human brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons. Each neuron connects to thousands of others, forming trillions of connections. Every thought you have begins as electrical activity traveling between neurons. A neuron has three main parts: dendrites, which receive incoming signals, the cell body, which processes that information, and the axon, which transmits signals forward. When a signal enters through the dendrites, it travels as an electrical impulse along the axon toward the next neuron. But neurons do not physically touch. They communicate across tiny gaps called synapses. At the synapse, the electrical signal transforms into a chemical message. Chemical messengers known as neurotransmitters are released into the gap. These molecules travel across and attach to receptors on the next neuron, continuing the signal. Different neurotransmitters influence different functions. Dopamine regulates motivation and reward. Serotonin stabilizes mood. Acetylcholine supports learning and memory. Through this electrochemical process, the brain controls both thought and emotion. The brain constantly receives signals from the body. For example, when you touch something hot, sensory neurons send an immediate signal to the brain. Within milliseconds, the brain processes the danger and sends a motor command back to your muscles. You pull your hand away before you consciously realize what happened. This rapid communication protects you from harm. Different regions of the brain specialize in different tasks. The frontal lobe handles decision-making and reasoning. The parietal lobe processes touch and spatial awareness. The temporal lobe manages hearing and memory. The occipital lobe controls vision. When you read a sentence, multiple regions activate simultaneously, processing sight, language, and meaning in perfect coordination. Even during sleep, the brain remains active. It organizes memories, regulates hormones, controls breathing, and maintains heart rhythm. Sleep is not a shutdown. It is an essential maintenance process for brain health. One of the brain's most remarkable abilities is neuroplasticity. When neurons repeatedly activate together, their connections strengthen. This is how we learn new skills, form habits, and adapt to changes, through chemical neurotransmitters. Through coordinated regions working together, it is a living electrical universe inside your head. In the next episode, we will explore the different lobes of the brain and their specific functions. Inside your skull lies the most powerful organ in the universe, the human brain. But did you know? Your brain is divided into specialized regions called lobes. Each lobe controls a different function of your body and mind. The frontal lobe is located at the front of your brain. It controls decision-making, problem-solving, personality, and voluntary movement. This is where your focus, planning, and self-control come from. The parietal lobe processes sensory information. It helps you feel touch, temperature, pain, and body position. Without it, you would not understand your physical surroundings. The temporal lobe is responsible for hearing and memory. It helps you understand language, recognize voices, and store memories. The occipital lobe is the visual center of your brain. Everything you see, shapes, colors, motion, is processed here in milliseconds. Below the brain sits the cerebellum. It controls balance, posture, and coordination. Every smooth movement you make depends on this region. The brainstem controls life itself, breathing, heart rate, blood pressure. It works automatically. Even while you sleep, your brain is not just one organ. It is a complex system of specialized lobes working together. Understanding these regions means understanding yourself. Everything you are is built from memory. Your first step, your first word, every lesson you've ever learned, all stored inside one powerful system, your memory. Memory is the brain's ability to encode, store, and retrieve information. When you see, hear, or experience something, your brain converts it into electrical signals. These signals travel through billions of neurons, forming connections that create memories. Sensory memory is the shortest type. It holds information for just a few seconds. Short-term memory stores small amounts of information for about 20 to 30 seconds, like remembering a phone number, just long enough to dial it. Long-term memory can store information for years, even a lifetime. It's where your knowledge, skills, and experiences live. Memory forms when neurons strengthen their connections. The more you repeat something, the stronger the connection becomes. This process is called synaptic plasticity. Practice literally rewires your brain. But memory isn't permanent. If connections aren't used, they weaken, and sometimes they disappear. Your memory shapes who you are. It builds your intelligence, your personality, your future. And the more you learn, the more powerful your brain becomes. Your brain controls everything: your thoughts, your movement, your memories. But what happens when the brain itself becomes sick? A healthy brain sends billions of electrical signals every second. But when disease strikes, these signals become weak, damaged, or completely blocked. Brain diseases often begin at the smallest level, the neuron. When neurons are damaged, they lose the ability to communicate. And when communication fails, function begins to collapse. Sometimes the brain becomes inflamed. Swelling increases pressure inside the skull. And because the brain has no room to expand, even small changes can become life-threatening. If blood flow is blocked, brain cells are deprived of oxygen. Within minutes, cells begin to die. Brain function depends on delicate chemical balance. When neurotransmitters become too high or too low, mood, movement, and memory can be affected. This damage can appear as memory loss, weakness, tremors, confusion, or sudden loss of control. There are many types of brain diseases. Some damage memory, some affect movement, some attack suddenly, others develop slowly over years. But understanding brain disease is the first step toward prevention and treatment, because protecting your brain means protecting your life. A stroke happens in seconds, but its damage can last a lifetime. When blood flow to the brain suddenly stops, brain cells begin to die. There are two main types of stroke. An ischemic stroke happens when a blood clot blocks an artery. A hemorrhagic stroke occurs when a blood vessel bursts and bleeds into the brain. The brain depends on constant oxygen supply. Without oxygen, brain cells begin to die within minutes. This leads to loss of movement, speech problems, and memory damage. Warning signs of a stroke include sudden weakness on one side of the body, slurred speech, vision problems, severe headache, doctors use the FAST rule, face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time to call emergency. High blood pressure is the leading cause of stroke. Other risk factors include diabetes, smoking, obesity, and heart disease. If treated quickly, doctors can remove the clot and restore blood flow. Rehabilitation therapy helps patients regain movement and speech. A stroke is a medical emergency, but with awareness and fast action, lives can be saved. What if one day you forget your own memories, your childhood, your loved ones, even your own name? Alzheimer's disease is a progressive brain disorder. It slowly destroys memory, thinking skills, and eventually the ability to carry out simple tasks. Inside the brain, abnormal proteins begin to accumulate. Amyloid plaques form between neurons. Tau tangles build up inside the cells. Communication between brain cells slowly breaks down, and neurons begin to die. Early symptoms often begin with mild memory loss, forgetting recent conversations, misplacing everyday objects, repeating the same questions. As the disease progresses, patients may struggle to recognize loved ones. Language becomes difficult. Personality changes appear. Independence slowly fades away. Aging is the biggest risk factor. Genetics may increase vulnerability. Heart health also plays a crucial role. There is currently no cure for Alzheimer's, but treatments can slow progression and improve quality of life. Healthy lifestyle choices may reduce risk. Regular exercise, balanced diet, mental stimulation, strong social connections. Inside your brain, billions of electrical signals fire every second. But what happens when the electricity goes out of control? Epilepsy is a neurological disorder characterized by recurrent seizures. A seizure occurs when abnormal electrical activity suddenly spreads across the brain. Normally, brain cells communicate in a controlled and balanced way, but during a seizure, neurons fire excessively and uncontrollably. This sudden surge disrupts normal brain function. Number 1 is focal seizures. Number 2 is generalized seizure. Focal seizures begin in one specific area of the brain. Symptoms may include unusual sensations, and generalized seizure, electrical storm spreading across entire brain. Seizures can look very different. Some people experience brief staring episodes. Others may have muscle jerking, stiffness, or collapse. In some cases, epilepsy may be linked to genetics. In others, it may result from brain injury, infection, or stroke. But sometimes, the cause remains unknown. There is no permanent cure for epilepsy, but anti-seizure medications can help control electrical activity. Many patients live completely normal lives with proper treatment. If someone is having a seizure, stay calm. Turn them on their side. Do not put anything in their mouth. What if your own body stopped listening to you? What if a simple movement became a daily battle? Parkinson's disease is a progressive neurological disorder. It affects movement, balance, and coordination, and it worsens slowly over time. Deep inside the brain lies a small but powerful area called the substantia nigra. This region produces dopamine, a chemical messenger that controls movement. In Parkinson's disease, dopamine-producing cells begin to die. As dopamine levels drop, movement becomes slow and rigid. The most common symptoms include tremors, shaking, usually starting in one hand, bradykinesia, slowness of movement, muscle rigidity, and balance problems. But Parkinson's is not just about movement. Patients may experience depression, sleep disturbances, loss of smell. The exact cause remains unknown. And cognitive changes. Genetics may play a role. Aging is the biggest risk factor. There is no cure for Parkinson's disease. Environmental factors may also contribute. Physical therapy and exercise can greatly improve mobility, but medications like levodopa help restore dopamine levels. But it does not define the person. Parkinson's may slow the body. With treatment, support, and determination, inside your skull, there is no extra space, no room for expansion. So what happens When something starts growing there, a brain tumor is an abnormal growth of cells inside the brain. It can be benign, non-cancerous, or malignant, cancerous and aggressive, but both can be dangerous because of pressure. The skull is a closed space. When a tumor grows, it increases pressure inside the brain. This pressure can damage healthy tissue and disrupt vital functions. There are two types of tumor. Number 1 is primary tumors, and 2 is metastatic brain tumor. Primary tumors begin in the brain itself. Metastatic tumors spread to the brain from other parts of the body. Symptoms depend on the tumor's location. Persistent headaches, vision problems, seizures, weakness in arms or legs, personality changes. Doctors use MRI scans to detect brain tumors. Imaging reveals the size, location, and impact on surrounding tissue. Treatment depends on the type and stage. Surgery may remove the tumor. Radiation therapy targets abnormal cells. Chemotherapy may slow tumor growth. A brain tumor diagnosis can be frightening, but early detection, modern medicine, and strong support systems can make a powerful difference. Subscribe Core of Science for more informative videos.